Hello there, we are back with red-white main deck Pyroblasts for round 5, playing to break even. And this hand is pretty slow. And it seems like my opponent may be on mono black. That seems like the most likely scenario where the opponent opens with basic swamp. In which case this hand is okay, because this hand doesn't do anything but dawdle around. Oh, these are quite nice swamps actually. I approve of these swamp choices. Well, we've drawn some burn spells, which makes that opening Sign in Blood a little bit more dangerous. Imagine this is going to be some sort of rat. Yeah. So, if I was playing against like myself here, I would be probably killing off the chittering rats because I'd be afraid of like Ninja, Akiba Shinobi, which I totally love that card. But most people don't run that, and most people do, however, play a bunch of unearths. So just like blasting the crap out of chittering rats isn't that helpful in this scenario. So for that reason, I'm not going to block. And also, they didn't play a 4th land, which means I need to be less scared of Ninja anyway. So hopefully the next card they play is like a Phyrexian Rager, since that doesn't block Glint Hawk and is relatively low impact. Or they can just play nothing. That's cool with me. I sort of think this is going to get tendrils. I guess we'll find out. We do have quite a lot of burn in our hand now. Disfigure, that's fine. Absolutely A-okay, it's already drawn me a card, that's fine. Do I want to now lightning bolt this chittering rats? No, I'll wait to see. Like if their plan is to like play a Grey Merchant, then I can wait till Grey Merchant's in play and reduce their devotion count to nothing. Looks like not though. We do have 13 points of burn in our hand, but we have no real way to get the remaining points in at the moment. So I'll just kill the rats for now. Like cycle this Forgotten Cave. See if you can draw a few more cards on my turn. Phyrexian Rager. That's okay. It's definitely not the worst thing. Deals them a point of damage. It all adds up. So the worst cards to draw now are like basic lands. Should I play this Windsguard Crag? I can definitely see a scenario where they have like Wrenchmind or like Liliana Spectre. It's unusual for them to have Rats, Rager, and Spectre, though. I could see me needing 5 mana. Like if I just draw some things to return these to my hand. I think I'll hold on to the Bone Splitter though to protect against Wrenchmind. I don't have any creatures in play at the moment, so it's really low impact. My life total's pretty high, so I think I can take a hit from Rager. Wow, wait, so at the moment we have 4, 8, 11, 14. It's not that far off. Cast Sign in Blood on yourself. Please. Do it. Oh, they didn't. It's vaguely tempting to just like fire some burn spells at them. But I'll wait. Wait. Okay. Can they gain life with 2 mana? I don't think they can. Yeah? Yeah? Yes? What? Don't gain life. The opponent probably wasn't expecting that one, but I guess that was the draw we had. These nice Pyroblasts going straight to the sideboard. And for this matchup, we don't actually have a whole lot, to be honest. Like, we can bring in this Relic, and that cuts down on their options. We can, like... Bone Splitters aren't that great, since they're usually killing off our creatures. There's, like, potentially you could bring in a Leave No Trace if you think they're on Pestilence, but we have 2 Angelic Purges already. And we honestly don't have a lot to bring out, to bring in here. Yeah, basically nothing. Like, obviously the Pyroblasts are terrible. The Bone Splitters are quite bad, but I think they're better than just, like, random cards. We could, like, bring in Molten Rain, but that doesn't seem like a great plan. Like, just casting a random Stone Rain on a basic swamp is pretty weak. And while I might be able to nab, like, a Bojuka Bog or something for 2 damage, that's not very exciting either. So, I guess I can just bring in, like, a removal spell. Since that's fine, like, it kills a Gurmag Angler, I can bring in, like, a vanilla 2-1. Since the life gain almost certainly doesn't matter that much. But I guess it's just an extra creature that they have to kill or can trade with the rats or something. At least the Bone Splitters help Thraben Inspector or the Kurultha Rebirth tokens to actually do something. Faithless Looting, probably not going to do very much for the first, like, 10 turns of the game. Until we're at a point where we have enough mana to be very certain that we have 2 Spear Lands that we don't need anymore, it's just going to, like, hang around. Alright. So this Relic should cut down on their angling and unearthing shenanigans. And if I get a point where I just have a Spear mana lying around and they have, like, a few cards, I am totally happy to just cycle it. It is not an important part to our plan whatsoever. Alright. I guess we need another land. I mean, we have stuff to do on 3 mana and stuff, even though it pains me not to be able to cycle these. Drawing cards is so good. But so our, like, card drawing stuff is a little bit slower, like, less direct than theirs. You know, like, they just play a creature, then they get a card out of it, or I minus a card. Ours is a bit more slow to get going. That Duress is fine. Like, Duress is pretty good when it takes like, a Wellspring, and then, like, all your Glinthawks and stuff no longer draw a card. But that is not the case here. They're taking, like, a Bolt or a Celestial Flare, and I don't really care too much about those. I don't remember if I pressed F6 here, so I'll just undo that so I could definitely take something out of the graveyard. Taking the Bolt makes a lot of sense. And they do have Liliana Spectre. They possibly just sideboarded that in though. I'll definitely discard Faithless Looting since that's the worst card in our hand by quite a lot. I obviously could have just held up mana for Celestial Flare, but I'd rather get this back into play so it can't be duressed. So we sort of, while we only have 2 cards in hand, we sort of have 4. Since, you know, we can cycle this and sacrifice this clue at some point. I'm just, for the moment though, I'm just making sure that Gurmag Angler doesn't hit the table before I'm ready to deal with it. So I'm thinking next turn is going to involve Celestial Flare plus sacking a clue. Probably. Alright, so I guess I can't attack. So I'll probably Celestial Flare, sack clue, and probably cycle. Actually, no, that was probably a mistake. I probably didn't want to play that land since I can flashback Faithless Looting. And I could have just discarded it. So I guess I'm still on the Celestial Flare sack clue plan. So maybe I should have sacrificed a clue in my main phase. But I was trying to play around some discard a little bit there. Alright. So we're definitely getting beaten up a little bit here. This would be a pretty bad time for a Grey Merchant of Asphodel to make an appearance. That's not ideal. I will definitely admit that one. So I could like play a land and then flashback Faithless Looting, or I can like play Prophetic Prism, see if I draw into like a tapped land or something. Okay, so now that I have like 3 definitely dead cards, I'll be holding on to this Faithless Looting for next turn. But I can play a land to cycle this if something weird happens. If given the opportunity, I will block with Glinthawk. It looks like I'm not going to be given the opportunity, however. So ideally next turn, I'll just loot into like 2 removal spells. Oh, that was careless. Should have used a relic earlier. They could have brought out an angler there. It looks like they might not have it though. Maybe they're just saving up for a Grey Merchant. Oh, Spectre. That one's okay. That's not great. I will say that much. I might be needing to block with this Threeven Inspector in a second here. Just to chump. It's not good, since if I draw Bone Splitter, it's suddenly, you know, suddenly not very good for me at all. I guess I think I can get away with not blocking. I mean, I could have attacked for 1, but I thought I would give them a chance at least to give me a reason to chump block. So if I just take this, I go to 3, which is pretty low. But then next turn I get to like draw a card for the turn, and cycle this relic. So hopefully that'll lead to some action, and then I won't get burned out. I guess the much maligned Lone Missionary would be a pretty good draw, even though it usually isn't. Ah, my Wellspring got me. That's not great either. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle this right away though. Let's see what my options are. That's not too bad. So I guess I'm definitely playing Skyfisher. And returning this, playing it. Maybe I get to draw a Bolt, which would be better than replaying Thraben Inspector. But nope, but at least Double Inspector can double block Chittering Rats. So if they've got some removal spells, then I can die. If they don't, it could be alright, since I have a removal spell and some blocks to make. I think going to 1 is not great, since then I can obviously die to Sign in Blood, which I believe we have seen in both games, so they probably have 4 of them, which obviously makes sense. Tendrils of Corruption. It's not good. It means I now need to double chump, unless they have a Echoing Decay. Wow, the clean sweep of my creatures. So yeah, we were unable to find enough removal spells that game, and we were just a little bit late to get our card drawing started. I don't think we want to bring in Electrickery for the Spectres. That seems like a bad idea. I am thinking that, considering that they have more removal spells than I expected, I'm going to bring in Lone Missionary instead of Bone Splitter, just because I don't care if... I can still triple block 2/2s with Kadoltha Rebirth, and I don't think my creatures need Bone Splitter to get the job done. Okay. It is actually reasonably arguable that this might be one of those matchups where I want to go second. But I think going first and putting a Prophetic Prism in play is pretty good. Our opponent did mulligan to 5 though, so that's a bad start for them, but not like this is the type of fast matchup where they're not going to have time to draw out of their predicament, especially with Sign in Bloods and that sort of thing. So Duress. Unluckily for them, seeing 2 prisms, so they can't quite nail me on them, preventing my card draw engine from getting started. Kadoltha Rebirth, pretty substandard if you're not sacrificing Wellspring, I have to say. But I guess, given our hand, we could go aggro. I mean, we could rebirth this Prophetic Prism. Put 5 power into play because they mulligan to 4. That is certainly something that we can do. But then, our Hawk doesn't draw a card. Our Angelic Purge doesn't have too much to sacrifice. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of that. If this was a Wellspring and we drew a card as well, when we rebirth, I'd be more on board, but I'm just not excited by this prospect. So we do get punished if the opponent has another Duress specifically, and then they can take my Prism away, and then I'm sort of embarrassed. But they're down to 3 cards, and yeah, if we know they have Echoing Decay, which means our like rebirth plan might not necessarily work all that well. So yeah. Yeah, this seems okay. We drew in another Glinthawk, then a land, so now we can just basically play like 3 mana, 2/2 draw a card, which is a pretty good card in this matchup. I mean, it might get killed again, of course, but that's fine because we drew a card. Tendrils. Ooh. There's another reason why like going beat down doesn't necessarily work very well. um, well, here's the lone missionary sideboarded in because there's Pyroblast in my main deck. I guess I should have played this one first because of the Diabolic Edict specifically. I'd rather them not respond by killing Lone Missionary. I imagine I'll probably take Angelic Purge. Oh, they took Rebirth? I'm pretty happy about that one, to be honest. Since I didn't really have any good value ways to sack it. Sack something. But then again, I guess that implies they didn't actually have a real good answer for it. So we're at 4 mana, which is a good amount of mana to be at, since it allows us to draw multiple cards a turn. May or may not play more lands, just to play around discard spells in case we mise the one Faithless Looting. Rager. Okay. I'm thinking I can bolt that. Like, their life total is so high, I'm not really looking to burn them out right now. And it gives me more mana to mess around with my turn, like sacking this clue and so on. And also I get to attack for 1. And they can't trade. I could play this right now and just tap it to remove like 1 card, but I don't think that's a big deal. I'd rather hold on to some cards in case they play like Spectres and stuff like that. Like this Ancient Den isn't doing a whole lot. This Relic is probably just going to get cycled right away. I don't have anything of note in my graveyard. And it's just cycling me to like a more relevant card. Grey Merchant is fine. I think I'm going to just exile it though. Can I get to sacrifice the Sicker Wellspring? I get to play Glinthawk. And I'm still going to hold on to this land. Don't need. Well, they have options now, I guess. I guess so they can take this since it's the only actual spell that definitely does something. Whereas the rest are just 2 mana draw a card, basically. And I already have a prism, so it's not like they can remove all these prisms. I guess taking this is good if I happen to draw another Rebirth or something, but alright. Let's get stuck in. Now I could counter this by like Celestial Flaring myself. Stops them from gaining 4 life, but honestly I don't think I care about that. Like they're down to 1 card. I'm about to like make a Skyfisher and like draw another card. I think no, I can just play this Relic. I have enough. I have like a spare thing to discard if that scenario comes up. Let's see. I don't want them to then, like... So if they have a Wrench Mind, I'd rather them... I guess I'd rather still just cap this Prophetic Prism. Keep it safe. Since, like, this card probably isn't doing very much right now. I think I'll just attack with everything and Celestial Flare them. Assuming they block, which they probably will. And then after that, I get to cycle my Relic, which means they don't get to make a Gurmagangler. Alright, I'll just keep these planes in my hand since they don't do anything. I mean, I guess I'm sort of playing into like a Crypt Rats or something here. 6 mana for a Corrupt. That's okay. I mean, it's slightly annoying, but it's not a big deal. Since they're down to no cards and I have, you know, a bunch of power in play, a couple of bolts. And the potential to draw more cards. They just played a Swamp. I mean, they have a reasonably high life total, but it's not going to last that long. Yeah, cycling through my deck. This is what this deck's meant to do. Just get a certain amount of lands and then just cycle until you hit some value thing. So they're not quite dead next turn. But if I draw a burn spell, they are. And they drew a swamp. Ooh. Thraben Inspector. Or Thraben. I don't even know. The Thraben Inspector. Oh, we did it. Drew Pathos Looting. So it looks like I probably could have won game 1 of match 1 against the Drake opponent if I probably did something wrong. And like against Burn, I feel like we were like game 1 I probably expect to lose, but game 2 I think we were kind of unlucky to lose. I mean, this deck seems fine. It doesn't seem too bad. Pyroblast's bit sketchy. Probably could be something else. Like if they're just more Firebolts or something, it'd probably be okay. Or even just like Incinerates or something. I kind of like the idea of playing some Magma Spray actually, since it kills a lot of the things that are problems for the deck. But there we go. I managed to go 3 and 2 with this deck, and possibly should have done better. And wow, Magic Online just sort of went a bit crazy there for a second. Oh well, see you next time.